Good evening, Voorzitter Ruben Troostwijk, dear friends. I am happy to be with you tonight and to try to explain a little bit the view of the rabbinate about the situation of today. Mark Rutte said, we decided 100% on basis of 50% knowledge. And that's the question. That's the halachic question who was asked by many Rutte, and I want to answer it halachically tonight. We have epidemiologists in the country, abroad, the health organization, and Ab Osterhaus says, we don't know. We don't know what's happening. We don't know exactly what's going on with this virus of the COVID-19. And Raoult in Marseille says, yes, we are already over. He was the first who using the chloroquine to help people who had COVID-19 and was successful, but it was controversial to use it. So he says it's over. So we have here, according to the halacha, a machloikes ben hamumchim. We have a discussion between the mumchim, the professors, and we ourselves, we know we are really not knowing what's going on, because in China, when it happened, no one before Purim could imagine that all the world will be spread out with this coronavirus. Yaakov Avinu, when he was supposed to meet his brother, the Posuk says, Vayetzer Yaakov. Yaakov was very afraid. And the Torah says, Shema Yaharog, Shema Yehareg. He was afraid to be killed, but he was afraid to kill. And that's not less than to be killed. To kill someone is someone very, very dangerous. And Toysus in Baba Kamed of Chov Zayin on the place says, he was afraid. He cannot say, that's not my responsibility. No one can say, I am a healthy, I don't care, I am going out. I am, what the Overheit says, it's not my problem. We need to be also careful not to harm someone. We have to love each other, and we have to think that the other could be myself. People say, yes, but during the Oloch, you know, there is a Shmirat Shabbat Kehilchata who was printed, reprinted from Rabbi Neuwirth, a famous scholar, where I learned by him in Yeshivat Kol Torah. He was hiding here during the Oloch in Amsterdam center, and he said that his father didn't, didn't miss any davening during all the war here in Amsterdam. So people say, how can you close all the shuls when in the Oloch, when in the Second World War, all the shul were open, not all the shul, but there was still a minyan in center of Amsterdam. It's a complete confusion. Here, we are in a situation of dever by ear. We have there is a risk of contamination. There is a health problem. There, it was maybe we can consider that all the people like Gavri Katiles are already killed. But if we don't go so far, we see in the Gemara already that Rabbi Akiva, in time of the in time what it was in the Roman time, when it was forbidden to learn and to give shiurim, he gave shiurim. He didn't care about what's happening. That's considered Mesirut Nefesh. Yes, we can like the Gemara in Broches and in Eruvin says that we can give shiurim also if it's dangerous. And the same Talmidei Chachomim who learned this Rabbi Akiva, who said Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha, he said also ushmartem me'od lenafshosechem, you had to keep your health. And I can be sure that if this Rabbi Neuwirth would be ill, he would never go out. It means he went only under the danger of the Nazis in Amsterdam to pray. It's another question, nothing to do with this. We have to be sure. What is to be sure? Is to be sure for our health, we cannot be less than the bank. The bank never gives money. If someone is asking you 10,000 euro, if you have no any guarantee, you don't give this money. So for our goof, for our body, sure, we need to be more careful. The Shach on the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Kuf Yud says, Sofek b'chisoron yedio lo mikre sofek ela mikre sofek shoitim. He says a doubt about something that you don't know is not a doubt. And I will explain you. A doubt is you have on one side and on another side. You have you have a machloket, you have a discussion. Some say you have to wait 1 hour after meat. Some sages say you have to wait 6 hours. So there is a suffix, there is a doubt in the halacha how to keep it. You're going to buy a new car. You are asking what's better, a BMW or a Mercedes? And you have a doubt because that's better quality for this part of the car. That is the rent is better. So there are tzdadim lekan ulekan. There are a dilemma what to buy, this car or this car, because you have a doubt. But if you go before a kid and you have two hands, in one hand you have a candy, and in one hand there is nothing, and you say to your little child, sure, make a choice. You want the right hand or the left hand? That's not a choice. That's not considered halachically a safek. We simply don't know. Not everyone who Googled a little bit, who looks on Wikipedia, is already a specialist. The research is in the middle. They don't know exactly. We have to know how our Gedolim, our sages in the past generation were keeping this mitzvah of v'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem, that you have to keep very carefully on your health. Rabbi Orber Leibovich, he was a Rosh Yeshiva before the Oloch in the town of Kamenitz. He passed away in a natural death. He was old already in Vilnius in 1940. And he was once ill for 3 days, and came the Talmidim by him and say, we cannot more support that you are not giving us a lesson. We want you to come back. It's not nowadays in our schools, it's not like this. But by Rav Ber Leibovich, after 3 days, the boys came and say, we want you back to school. So he say, I can do it. Maybe, you know, I take a little bit some painkiller before I go to the shiur, and I can come. But the Torah says, "V'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem." You have to keep your health very much. So I have to keep 2 days more to be in bed. That means that we have here a mitzvah. We have here some things that we cannot say, okay, I don't care. No. In time of the Mageife, the Posuk says, Chabi od rega ad yavor zam. You have to keep at home till it goes over. What it goes over? It goes over doesn't mean 50%. That means that you are sure that the Magefa don't harm you. And that's the moment that you have to stay. Like the Rambam says that you have to stay after you have eaten. You have to be, how do you say, be more careful than everyone. Rabbi SJOELS Soloveitchik, he was the son of the Rav Mibrisk, and he said about someone, he was Yereh Shamayim. He was fearing God. Why? Because he was very careful on his health. Why does he look only on this mitzvah? He say because people would say, yeah, Pasmachnish is not, I am not coming to shul, I am not coming to the shir, I am, he was, how do you say, present of whole spiritual things. So they say, oh, he's not running for spiritual things, so he's not worth. And when he's ready not to go, not to come, and people can say about him this thing, that's proof that he is fearing God. The Rogachover in Varsha, he said he was a rabbi, chief rabbi of Dvinsk, but he was a very brilliant person, the Gaon HaRogachover. He says he was one in Varsha, and there were a car, not electric car, but with horse, who are going in street, and he was waiting. The first, the second, the third. So people told him, you can go? Why you are waiting that there is no car at all to cross the road? So he say, you know that the mitzvah of the nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem, that you have to keep your health, is the only mitzvah that you cannot make tshuva, that you cannot regret. Because if an accident arrives, you are here with a broken leg, you are here with no leg, you are chas v'sholom killed. That's not, how do you say, you cannot go back. But if chas v'sholom you have eaten chometz on Pesach, you can make tshuva, you can regret, and then when you regret, you make tshuva, the aveira is considered as a mitzvah. So it's okay. So you can have a mitzvah. So he say, of course, we have not to make any aveira, but here he said, about life and death, you have to be more careful. You have to be sure that you don't have any problem, because if not, you cannot make tshuva. It's over. Our question is a mathematic question. We have there is two, how do we say, two sides. Or you can say, minyan, a shul, it's so important. We have to open. So, okay, we open. There are two solutions. We open, we do it, and then nothing happened. Everything went okay. Everything went okay. So all the people are angry because of the rabbinat. We didn't have any minyan. Okay. We didn't have minyan, so that's the aveira. But Rabbi Wolf is an idiot. He's an idiot. He could have opened and nothing would happen. That's one side. The second side is to say, yes, we went to minyan, we did it, and cholile, there was someone, an elderly people who came, he was in the risk, and he didn't survive. And then they say, oh, they were so gentle, so intelligent, so not to open. Al Le'olam yomar odom. All his life, man has to say, I prefer to be called an idiot than to be called a poshea, to be called someone who did something wrong. So that's my priority. Sorry that if the, how do you say, the choice was not good, but I prefer to be called an idiot. You know, it's, the story is like there was someone who opened a herring. He bought it 2 weeks ago by Albert Heijn, and he's opening the plastic, and he said to his wife, it doesn't smell good. So his wife tell, okay, I don't think that we have to eat it. So he said, okay, we are going to give it to the neighbor. So he gave it to the neighbor. The neighbor got ill. So he went to hospital. So he went to Bikur Cholim. He went to visit him at the hospital. After that, he died. So he went to the Levaya. After the Levaya, he went also to the Shiva. So he said to his wife, you see, with a little herring, how many mitzvahs we can do. That's the mitzvahs that I don't want to do. So we see also that all the, not only here in Holland, but in all the country, they say a mask help, gloves help, gloves don't help, mask doesn't help. If it's too hot, doesn't help. Every day we are hearing a new story. That means that we don't know. Rabbi Shavai says in his shiur to England, he said to the synagogues in England, he said, we have to be the last. We don't need to be the first to jump. So the question is, yes, but when we want to open, we want to go back. So when are we out, like it is in the psak, of sofek sakona, the doubt of sakona? When are we already in the sugya, in the subject that was asked of shomer pesoim Hashem? That means that we can do regular things with no thinking, it will happen something wrong. I cannot go to the street, maybe an accident. I cannot go on my feet. I cannot go take my car. I cannot go skiing. I cannot go in the swimming pool. Maybe. When are we out of sofek sakona, of a doubt, of danger, and we are already in shomer psoim Hashem, in this subject that Chazal tell, yes, you can take some riziko in your life. You don't need to be all your life at home. So, of course, we can say that shomer psoim Hashem, that the sakona, that means this danger, who is obvious, who is here now, and who is something that we don't know how to deal with it, we are already over. But if we look good in the Gemara, there is 5 places in the Shas where the subject is analyzes, and one of them is someone who is eating by night. There is no light, and maybe there is in this his compote who is eating, maybe there was a scorpion, and he left his venin. How do you call it in English? Venom inside. So it's dangerous. So we say, yes, you can eat by night. Shomer psoim Hashem. Shomer psoim Hashem. You don't need to think there was a scorpion and he'll have his hair poison. Go and eat. Go and eat. You don't need to go inside at home to look by light and think if something happened. At the moment that all the country is coming back to regular life, then we can think if it's shomer psoim Hashem. But no, it's only like Rute said, that we don't know, but we need to. And also what we do is not like regular. We are going in shopping, and we have to keep a distance between people. We have to clean our hands before, after. That means it's not a regular use. It's not the way that we are living every day in regular time. We said that, of course, the NIHS together with the rabbinate are considering to reopening the schools. When? We don't know. We only know that we said that after 14 days, after, how do you say, the 11th of May, that means the 25th of May, we can discuss it again to see what's going to open. As sure, of course, sure, what was decided that every shul should prepare herself already to have the place. They can go also ask the bistur if their place is not enough good. That's what has been done in collaboration, the rabbinate with the NIHS, to prepare ourselves to the day that we can. But we cannot take a decision before we know, because if we are in a sofek, it's considered safek shotim. It's considered, like we said in the shach, it's not a doubt. It's like you give to your kids in the two hands that you make hocus pocus, and we are not going to make with life of people hocus pocus. There were people who were asking questions. The question is, should I ask the question who were asked, or someone want to ask the question and I respond to the written questions? What do you say, Ruben?
So there were questions sent through by email.
Yes.
I think it's best maybe to respond to those, and then if people have questions, then they can put them in the chat, and I will read them to you. That's maybe easier.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So a first question were, why not to make in public park a minyan? The Mogen Avraham already says that Bezman HaMagefa, in time of the Magefa, we don't pray in street. So that's already a real reason why not to pray outside. There are various countries that it was also considered as a Chilul Hashem, because they said, you see, the Jews, they are not keeping, but also by keeping, to give the people the way to say that Jews are not behaving exactly the right way, it's not worse. Someone asked, what is the difference between here and the Cheder? The Cheder is beginning 1st of June with his minyanim. Don't give any date for the NIHS and our shul, because we don't know. So if we don't know, I will not answer about this question. Ruben maybe will a bit speak about it, but about what is the difference between the Cheder. The Cheder is going to school. The school is closed. No one is entering from outside. That means no parents, no anyone who has nothing to do with the class. So it's part of the education program also to have prayer in the morning, because it's a religious school. So that's part of the program, and no one can enter. So it's nothing to do with the opening of the shul. They were asked, they got a letter that you can inschreiben already for the Bet HaMidrash. You can enter, you can already, for Shavuot, they want to open the Bet HaMidrash, and of course in certain condition with in Chut Overlech with the Chechede. So two things, we are, you know, we are a big community, and the mechitza in Amstelveen is not the same mechitza that in Bet HaMidrash. So they are more strict in the mechitza, but we can be more strict than the Bet HaMidrash in Venishmartem, in the health of people. So that's, you know, on everything there can be a discussion. Can be a discussion, how do we say, when it's considered already Shomer Psoim Hashem, if it's a sakone, if we go according to the Chechede, or we need the big professors to discuss about it. That means that's a point of view how to deal with it. But they never said that they will open, how do we say, on any price. That means they said we want to open for sure, we want to prepare ourselves. But if the numbers are not good, they will not open also. So they are also on the same level and the same understood like us. I saw a certain email of a few people, and they exchanged, and that's more or less the same way. I know that Micha was also in contact with them. So there is no basic, how do we say, machloikes, but of course it can be that there are different opinions like every subject. They were asked if there is a minyan who is organized in the public Reimte, if to go or not to go, not to join. Some people ask if all the shul has to open at the same time. Shuls are not closed. The rabbinat, together with the directzi, will say when it's possible to open. But if a shul say, we have too many elderly people, we are in a situation that we are in an old age home, or we are in a hospital, or our place is not big enough, we cannot make, how do you say, the 1.5 meter between the people. So of course, how do we say, we gave the authorization, but everyone, every rabbi and every shul with the bistur of the shul can decide to wait longer. The question was asked, what to do with elderly people? So that's also one of the things, depending on the shul. If the Gabe is someone, a nice guy, and knows how to deal with these people, so he can open the shul. But he is putting his Dutch finger to say, you are not coming to shul. I don't want to see you. Of course, it's malbin pnei chaveiro. It's very dangerous to do like this. So better that he keeps his shul closed if he cannot deal with elderly people, to say them on a nice way that it's still not the time to come because of the high risk. They were asked if it's the responsibility of an elderly people who is coming about what he did. Halachically, when we already said to people, the bendaz, that means someone who is still with us with all his mind, and we tell him it's dangerous and to cross the road, and by when it's not green, and he crossed the store, crossed the place, so it's not our responsibility. That means we cannot have a responsibility for everyone. Also, if it's in our sphere, that means if it's our shuls. Another question was asked. Can we put the elderly people in the Ezras Noshim by the lady shul? It's an interesting question, You know, I know that there are some schools that they put the people who are not feeling on Chol HaMoed in the ladies' shul, and the men with it feeling downstairs, or the contrary, in Hasidic places, that the people with tefillin are going in by the ladies' shul, but that's in a time that ladies are not coming. Here in the NIHS 2.0, people bought a seat in a shul. And Rabbi Yitzchok Zilberstein said that it's their ownership. You cannot ask a lady, also kindly, because she will not refuse, because she's polite. So it's considered Hamas. It's like, I want your watch, and I say, oh, so nice, please sell me. It's considered by halacha Hamas. Also, if you give money. So also, if we compensate financially the ladies, we cannot do it. So that's about the lady department. It was asked about how will be the Seder in Shul. So we already speak about it, and the Sheila who was asked, it was only about the Hakboe, Kriasatoro, Glilo. So we did it like this. Then only one man, he will take the Sefer Torah out. He will take out the mantle. He will take out all the clothes of the Sefer Torah. He will put on the bima, and on the bima, he will put a yad. He will put the yad, and and then the ole will go out. The ole will go up. He will look where is the beginning of he will say the bracha, go downstairs, and then the Baal Koreh will go upstairs. 7 times we already said that there are 2 other options, but we kept for this option. So we keep it this way, that there will be only one Baal Koreh, and the Hagbe, the Glile will be done by him also, and the Hagbe, and he will do it on like the Hasidim or the Sephardic do. We will do it on the end of the Kriyat Torah, but we will not do it. How do you say? We will not do it. We will not do it on a chair, but we will put it back on the bima so he can deal alone with it. I think that more or less, I saw that on the shot, there was against about what's happening about the Bet HaMidrash, and I already, I think, answered that the Bet HaMidrash is on the same line of Shmartem Moed Nafshotechem, but can be that there is how do we say, a difference, that someone would say, okay, we already going and shopping, we already take dangers, we are ready to take these dangers. But I prefer to be an idiot and not to take any danger. But that's what I said before, but that doesn't mean that we will not open very soon, but we will open when we are in a situation that we have elements to see that that already it's workable. Yes, Ruben.
Okay, so I saw 2 questions. One question: if in a city where there's no eruv, if you can carry a mondkapje.
Okay, so also that's how do you say, a question who was asked, and in France, and I know they do go with it. There are poskim who say only for elderly people, but for younger people, you have only to have in the entrance of the shul. So there are a few meaning about it, but there are poskim who say that you can go because it's no considered that it's like a tachboshet, like you have on your arm because you have a bleeding or something on you.
Okay, thank you. So I also see a question if the regulations for the Gever Kaddish stay the same as in the Corona regulations.
I didn't understand.
So there were special
Yes.
There are special regulations set up basically, or advice for the Gebel Kaddish. Do you
Yes.
think that will stay the same for the next few weeks or months?
Till that we are not sure, we cannot ask of anyone of the Chevra Kaddish to take any risk, any risk. So please keep it like it was, and that's the covered. It's only a minhag what we are doing, and we cannot take any risk to do it. Of course, it's very important, all the minhagim that we do, but keep it like it is.
And another question is, you were pretty clear about the davening outside, and so that happens in Israel. So what's the difference from Holland to Israel?
Okay, a very big difference. 6,000 people died here, 250 in Israel. That's the big difference. NIHS מראשיס השונו עד אחיס השונו. הקדוש ברוך הוא has a special care for Israel, and he's looking there, and we saw that it's nisim, it's really a miracle what happened there. Also, not everyone kept all the overheight, all the rules, and Baruch Hashem, they managed. So we cannot have any comparison with Israel. That's the first. The second thing here outside, Baruch Hashem, from the beginning of the Corona, there were good, nice weather. But it's not sure that every day it will be nice weather. I am here already 14 years in Holland. I don't remember such a good weather than now. So normally it's one day asa, one day basa. One day it's good weather, one day it's not good weather. So people see that the weather is not good. They are going straight away by them at home. There is also another problem of Chilul Hashem, that people, the goyim can film, etc., etc. I knew from friends that they bring, you can be on a window and take a film, say, oh, you see the Jews, they are bringing us the Corona, so we need to be very careful on it.
So maybe relating to that, and then I will get to some other questions, did the rabbinate consult also with medical experts on this matter?
From the day one, the rabbinate together with the Bistur and the Directie made a committee only together with 5 experts, big experts here. There were some experts who say, I don't know what to do, I cannot take the responsibility. But of course, with big experts in epidemiology and in general health to know what to do. With no expert, we cannot say anything. You know, the Khatam Sofer in Preshburg, they were calling to every doctor between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, many rabbi. Why? Because he was deciding if people can on Yom Kippur fast or not. So of course, that's the first thing. If we didn't ask medical expert, we are charlatan. I don't know how you say charlatan in Netherlands, but that means that's not a rabbi. That's someone who has to go home, how do you say, very soon, and to retire.
And I think that you were very clear about davening outside in an open place. Does that also mean for a private place, so a own garden or other fenced place where people can see?
I said that nowadays a garden is also can be filmed from someone. You don't need a drone to see in someone's garden, so it's exactly the same thing. But also we are, how do we say, an Einheitsgemeinde, and we are people who have no garden. So I don't think that's a good idea that private people, how do we say, they are taking, because they have a big garden, to making minyonim, etc., etc. And there's still a danger because people are talking, etc., etc. I saw on other things that people are something, and you cannot do, you can never know, how do we say, you can never know how people will will behave in this situation.
And very interesting question, only Cowan can ask, I think. How will doegening be done, washing, singing, standing?
Okay, so also we already answered this question on to all the Gaboim, that the Kohen will wash himself outside by the toilet with a normal, he will put alcohol gel and go back to the Duchen place, and he's alone, how do you say, and we will make place that there will be 1.5 meters between every Kohanim. Maybe we have to make 2 meters because he's doing like this, so he needs a little more space.
Okay, I think that the outside davening is a topic that people really like. So now there's the question. So now the schools are open, of course. So what does it mean for the schools? Can they daven?
I already answered that. The school is part of the program. No problem that the school is organizing a prayer with the boys who are already in school and making mathematics and learning Chumash. That's not a problem because that's part of the program. You're not bringing outside people to make a minyan.
And another question, if it's not better to reopen the schools only after there's a vaccine?
Maybe, but I don't know. I like was asked if we are consulting specialists. Yes, we are consulting specialists, and it seems that they are not, how do we say, so worried like us. So we have to be more worried because we have the mitzvah of v'nishmartem od lenafshotechem. That also, if they have to keep the general rules of keeping life of everyone, but they don't have the special, how do we say, request. So if there is a vaccine, of course, it will be better. I saw that already today they make a few vaccination. I hope but we have to wait. So of course, if the specialists say that there is still sofek sakona, and if there is no vaccination, you have to consider it dever by year that there is still the epidemic. So yes, people have to know that although we all want to go back to schools, we love schools, we are so happy to be in school, but people have to know that praying at home is also praying. That means God is hearing our prayer. And sometimes we cannot make any orchestra, so a solo is also nice. So that's our prayer. Shmieni kolech, it's a solo.
And a question: if the schools are to reopen, is it not better to make the bracha for an aliyah staying in your seat?
So staying in the seat, it's not an option, but it's an option to go a little bit from your place. That's the third opinion. I had said this opinion. If we cannot manage, we will allow in shuls according to 2.0. That means that if it's halachically correct, that shul can do it, or the best way is if people know to read, so to prepare 6 people to read 3 psukim, so everyone is going up to the, not touching the Sefer Torah, but everyone is going and lining himself 3 psukim. By Sfardim, of course, it's easier because they are trained to read from little age. But also by us, if there is a shul that everyone knows to read, of course, we can imagine that everyone will read 3 psukim, and the number 7, he will read the rest of all the parsha. But if we don't have this situation, so we adopt in the NIHS the middle way, that there is someone, he's going up and the Bal Koreh is going downstairs and then going back. But we can imagine also the more lenient, like they do by Hasidim, that more lenient, that is only, how do you say, going a few a few steps from his place and saying the brocha also he's away from the Sefer Torah.
I think that we come to an end of the questions. Maybe one remark for me. I think it was maybe one of your toughest decisions to close or even not to open the shuls. And I must say that I think it takes courage from the rabbinate to give guidance to the kehillah and also be very strong in your decisions. I think your SJIOER was very clear. Your decisions are very clear, and I think that's very important for us in these times, because we are all asking ourselves when we go to shul, and everybody's longing to see everybody again. So this Zoom is a nice way to see each other, but it's not really a substitute. So I think from everybody, or especially from the SJIOER, we thank the rabbinate very, very much. And if people have other questions relating this, you know, to find the email address of the rabbinate. I think that we all hope that in the next few weeks in Holland the situation gets there, that we can go to shul in one way or the other. So I hope that everybody keeps healthy and have a very good evening. For tomorrow, thank you, Rav Wolf.
I want only to react on your word. Thank you very much on your word, but I wanted to say that the Rav Mibrisk you said that it was a heavy decision, but the Rav Mibrisk says that it's not a heavy decision, because he was asked every time, how is it that every time then we ask you a question about kashrut, about Shabbat, you say, I don't know. And here, when it's going on pikuach nefesh, on life, every time you answer. So it says it's very easy, because on every halachot, you have the doubt, so you don't know what to say. But on pikuach nefesh, if you are strong, if you forbid, you are every time you answer halachically correct, because you are not allowed to take any risk. So it's much easier to say, don't take the risk. So Ruben, thank you that you told that it was a hard decision, but for me, for a rabbi, it's the decision who has to be taken according to halacha. V'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem, that I have to keep our health, and we really want that everyone should be healthy, come back together with strength and happy. And I am very happy for these Zooms that I can see everyone who is doing well. And of course, it's not easy. And for myself also, it's not easy. You don't need to imagine that I want to be in contact. You know, I am also traveling a lot for kashrut. And now I am sitting here at home. Normally, I am already in Guadeloupe or in Madagascar or some exotic places, and I am staying here. So it's a bit complicated, but we do it. We do it. Why? Because we have to keep healthy, and that's the tzava shah. That's the moment that we have to do it like this.
Skoich, Rav Wolf. Dat geeft me de mogelijkheid om u te wijzen op alle Zoom-activiteiten, zoals elke morgen de Daf Yomi van Gidon Mandel. En morgen begint ook voor het eerst wat wij noemen de Social Zoom, een profaan onderwerp. Morgen de eerste door David Simon, hoe Joods is dansen, over Joodse dansleraar in Nederland. En gevolgd door een SJIOER van Rabbijn Wim van Dijk. En we hebben verder Rabbijn Dunner deze week, een sociale Zoom van Emiel Schrijver over de Braginski-collectie, een reis door Joodse werelden. En een SJIOER van Rabbijn Neuweert en Yom Yerushalayim op vrijdag. Dus er zijn genoeg activiteiten, die vindt u allemaal in de nieuwsbrief. Nogmaals, blijf gezond en een prettige avond.
Ja.